This is the real reason that I took a rare afternoon off and drove all the way, thanks to that easy pass in the Pennsylvania Turnpike from Monaca, 376, about a half hour from my home to see this guy in his home. Shenango Township. He is a man that is in government, going to do it one more term, he tells me. I can't tell you. You're one of the most amazing individuals, entrepreneur, Augustine Pizza, now run by your son. You're retired, taking care of the grandkids, your lovely wife, but you've also put back to this community so many great things. With all due respect, I would expect to see something like this in Wexford or Cranberry. I can't even do it justice because we've showed this, but this strip mall, plaza, whatever you want to call it, that you brought back to life that was on life support, I've never seen anything like this.
Well, you got to realize this started 8 years ago when our district justice, Dave Rischel, called me up and said, Shenango's in trouble. We got to do something. So we had new leadership. We ran different people. A young man by the name of Albert Burek. We ran him for office. He ran for office. I ran, and then we ran his son, Dave Rischel's son. So we had three new young guys. They're the young guys. They're in their 50s. I'm the old guy out of the bunch. But we all grew up in Shenango and we loved it. So we knew that we had to do something. But the developer, Mike Wish, is the guy that really deserves all the credit. Yeah, and he is from a very successful family from Lawrence County. His dad was a businessman, and Mike was an attorney. And he decided that he was going to go into development. And he's bought different properties, fixed them up, different buildings, different strip plazas. But this was the one that he said, I'm going to do it for Lawrence County. And this is what's come about. I mean, it's been a long road. This hasn't just happened overnight.
No. Well, I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah, I know.
We got a lot of catching up to do. So, Augustine Pizza. Now, I know you're in wonderful locations, but there's no more a standalone place. The fire, how many years ago now?
10 years ago, November 8th, 2014.
All right, so answer this business question for me.
Yeah.
Recently, I mentioned D&G's is closing in Beaver Falls, and the first thing you said when I told you, you went, because you had basically your place, the fire, but the business is changing.
Yes.
When a pizza place that's been around for 60 years that has fed generations goes out of business, what's happening with some of these iconic names?
A lot of times the families that ran them don't want to do it anymore. They've gotten older. I mean, you're talking not a 40-hour job here. You're talking that's it. You're talking weekends, you're talking nights. You know, it's a full-time job to have a pizza shop. Plus, a lot of the places will make doughs in the morning, and then their lunch crowd hits, then the supper crowd hits. So it's not something to just do and say, well, I'm going to just do this 40 days a week. And a lot of people don't want to work like that anymore. It's hard. It's a tough racket right now, but there's a lot of people very successful, you know, in the communities, the work. But when you hear that one, I mean, I get talked about every day when I'm out helping my son and one of the grocery stores. People say, "Hey, I want a fresh Augustine's pizza. When are you gonna make me one?" I say, "Well, you're talking to the wrong Frank Augustine. You know, you need to talk to the young Frank Augustine."
Guess what? He gave me a few. They're in my trunk.
Yeah.
I'm selling them very cheap, so I'll meet you out the intersection when I'm done here. No,
but those places, that's a legendary place. You know the places.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
People I have heard are waiting in line for as long as 2 hours, even in this cold weather. They may run out before December. But now the daughter of Gene, Lori, has a location at a beautiful bar in Monaca Center, so it's not going to leave.
Yeah.
But look, I spent my entire life in this place. I mentioned the other day about the screen door hitting you, you know, when you're on a hot summer night and that smell wafting into the street. Somebody needs to get that sign and put it into some sort of museum or foundation like the Larry Bruno Foundation, whatever, because it's just synonymous with football and sports. Okay, now sports. This is what he is good at. This is what he is great at. And when he was making all those pizzas, he was listening to KDK and also learning a lot about sports like I did as a kid growing up. Got your Penn State hat on.
Yeah, you have your Pitt hat on. Yeah. I noticed that. We've been buddies for a lot of years.
But now I know why I'm losing all these players to Penn State. Because of Ralph Blundo, what he told me. I forgot about that Gateway coach by the name of Terry Smith. I'm thinking, Bradley's retired. You guys are getting them all. Tyke Hayes, the quarterback from Fort Cherry. I mean, what is going on with James Franklin?
Yeah, he has done a great job. I mean, everybody gets on him about we lost a few games to Ohio State. Ohio State's one of the best programs in the country.
Not as good as Michigan, though.
Well, not this year.
Oh, man.
But it's the idea that he's able to recruit players. We're graduating players. They're going into the pros. We're selling out the stadium, 110,000 people, whatever it is, every week. It's just something that's really, really gone into a major program.
And I talk to anybody who like me, who loves Pitt. And you take a young student athlete and you show them 100,000 fans.
Oh.
Game over.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to be on the sideline a couple times when they have young recruits there. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, you're going to get excited when you walk out into that stadium and see all these people. I mean, he's done a fabulous job. We're excited about, I mean, you know, all the years we've talked about the 4 teams in the playoffs. We can't wait till it's 12. Well, 12 is here. And we're fortunate enough to be part of it.
And you got a little bit of a nice road, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what, yeah, exactly. They're saying, wondering how Penn State ended up with the road they have. But you still, SMU, I mean, they're in the big dance.
Then mighty Boise State.
Yeah, right. So you never know.
But listen, Paul Alexander, who I absolutely
love. I love Paul. Isn't he great?
He's the most well-rounded sports guy in
Penn Stater.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he keeps me abreast. My 2 kids graduated from Penn State. Beaver. Best thing, these branch campuses, these extensions, saves you a lot of money. They get a great education.
I was at Penn State Beaver 2 years. My son was at Penn State Beaver 2 years. Then we went on to Maine.
I made anything out of myself. I should have went to Penn State Beaver.
I don't know about that.
Seriously.
But it's a great place. You know, we enjoyed it because it was it was a smaller, you know, coming from Shenango. You know, if I go to right the main campus, you get overwhelmed.
You got one in Hermitage too, right?
Yeah, we have one up in Hermitage.
Okay, let's move on now. How about Belichick? The Pitt Panthers are going to have to face him in North Carolina. He's taking Lombardi with them. I mean, I missed the press conference. I'll catch some clips later. This is like the biggest story in college football history. I mean, everybody's talking about it.
Everybody was, you know, just 6 months ago. Where's he going to end up? Which NFL team's having a bad season? He's going to end up there. And then this became about, I mean, you know, the ACC, they're one of the power conferences in the country.
Hey, listen, speaking of Shenango, there was a guy who grew up here by the name of Chuck Tanner.
Yeah.
Now listen, first time at bat, Major League, hit the homer. Yeah. The Pirates, I was thinking, didn't they trade Sanguine to Oakland to get him come here?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not
the highlight of my baseball career.
There's just kind of a little bit of a similarity, I told him, and maybe I'm the only one that gets it. But Drake May, he is now the franchise quarterback, hopefully, in New England. The former team of Bill Belichick, who now is going to be the coach at North Carolina. If I would have told you 2 years ago, oh, see that Drake May? He's going to go to New England as a pro, and Belichick's going to leave and be the coach at North Carolina.
Never.
Would you have ever believed me?
No, that's sports. That's why we love it.
I'm telling you, he's going to win.
Yeah, I believe he will too. He's a great coach. He's going to get the players money, NIL money. They have to do the whole.
Run it like a pro football.
Yeah, everybody's doing that now. They're having general managers of these colleges now.
Let's talk some baseball.
Chuck Tanner, you know, we just honored him.
Did you?
Oh, we had a great little event here in town. Mark Alisco is a big baseball guy. He decided that there was this Valentine's restaurant where Chuck would go for breakfast every morning. And people would give him lineups. You know, everybody say, here's what you ought to do, this and that. So,
they don't hold back a new guy.
Yeah, oh yeah. So sure enough, he came. Mark says, we're going to put this, not a statue, just a sign that says this is where Chuck Tanner ate breakfast, and talk a little bit about him. And sure enough, he asked the townships, because Chuck grew up in Shenango and he lived in the Shannock. And then the city of Newcastle, the DA's office, there was a bunch of people that put in the money for this sign. And we had a great day. We had the Pirates up. We had a few. Yeah, I know, Rob.
Come on.
It was last.
By the way, belated, but I did talk to him via text. But Bruce Tanner recently turned another year older. Should be doing, if not a scout, which he's good at, he should be on the MLB Network. He's one of the smartest guys ever. And because of my relationship with him, he spent years with me on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show.
Going real quick, Dick Allen just made it to the Hall of Fame.
Thank goodness you brought that up.
Yeah, Dick Allen. So a friend of mine, Donnie Mancini, calls me up. He says, hey, there's somebody from the Philadelphia, one of the newspapers, is going to do an articles about Dick Allen being in the Hall of Fame. He says, who do you know that maybe has some connections? I'll call Bruce Tanner up. So Bruce was a bat boy with the Chicago White Sox when his dad was the manager, and he's had numerous conversations with Dick Allen. He knows his family, so he's all excited about it because he really Dick Allen was really special to him. But some of the guys from Wampum, Don Hennon,
Basketball.
yeah,
Coach.
they still get together once a month. These guys still get together. They're still around. So now I guess this is going to be a big deal. This is coming
Let
up.
me ask you, how happy are you with Dave Parker?
Oh, both of them. I mean, both of them.
Please tell my audience how great Dave Parker was.
Dave Parker was the Cobra, man. He just
2,700 plus hits.
Yeah, he just hit the ball. He could play right field. He could hit. He was he could do everything.
Like a 292
You know what's
average.
sad? Both of those guys. One's passed away. One's having some health problems, and they can't enjoy being in Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame.
Listen, I reached out to the best beat writer in the history, the best baseball mind, John Parado.
Yes, he is.
Pittsburgh Baseball Now, and he too has been saying for the longest time, Parker had to
Yeah, he had to get in. And I'm glad. I don't even understand how this veterans works. Oh, I don't know. It'd be yeah, exactly. Aaron Judge, he'd be right up there with those
Let me tell you
guys.
something else. I made this comment, and I know you've been a little harsh on the Pirates. I love my Pirates, and I'm always going to be a fan of the Nuttings, and I'm going to explain why. I would much rather, even if it takes a little longer to win this way. They picked up this Horowitz as first baseman. I'm excited. We'll see.
Yeah.
And maybe Mitch Keller, maybe they got to trade somebody to do something major. But when you're paying a ball player like Juan Soto and Ohtani the kind of money, you're never going to recoup that. The price of tickets are going to go up. The price of jerseys are going to go up. They're going to get you with the price of a hot dog, a beer. And by the time, he's 26 now, Soto. In 4 or 5, he's not a good outfielder to begin with. He's going to end up being a DH. There's no way he's going to play for them at the age of 41. I would much rather do it this way than spend $1 billion on a play.
Let's hope. I mean, we have a strength. At least we have a strength in pitching that we can trade and maybe get some hitters. But it was depressing last year not knowing that we couldn't hit. I mean, we just couldn't hit the ball.
How many games schemes would have won?
Oh, I mean, that guy, it was electric. Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh. Oh, I've seen him I think 3 times. Yeah, I still have season tickets. It's so exciting. I took my buddy Jan Budai down with me. We coached baseball together. He was a star at Shenango and then Westminster, but he was a great athlete. And we're sitting there, we're thinking, can you believe this young guy has just got this whole stadium selling out the place? One guy, a right-handed pitcher. I mean, it's just crazy.
Listen, everybody's already got Boros taking him out of town in 5 years. Just hold the phone. I think this young man likes Pittsburgh, and he seems like a really level-headed kid. I think the Air Force background, and he wants to finish that commitment when he's done playing with the military. We'll see.
Yeah.
Steelers. What happens to this football team to take on Philadelphia this week?
I think the number one thing is Russell Wilson. We have a $40 million quarterback. We're paying $1 million. You have a $40 million quarterback. The guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to run that team. He knows to check off at the line of scrimmage. And he's getting all the receivers involved now, too. He threw it around to everybody. And I think, that's the key. How long can we ride him? For whatever happened in Denver, we don't know. But we know what happened in Seattle. He was a great guy. And he's a good guy. He's been the man of the year. Yeah, do you know the Steelers haven't won since 1965 in Philadelphia? But Russell Wilson has. He's won in Philadelphia. So that changes everything right there.
That locker room in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
J.J. Brown, little trash.
Yeah. I mean, think about that.
All right, last thing. You know what I'm really excited about? What West Virginia has just done.
Good.
Look, West Virginia matters. Pitt, obviously, my favorite. Penn State, Ohio State, all good. Rich Rodriguez, all indications. Pat McAfee, who, of course, is the juggernaut that he is on ESPN, went to WVU, a kid who grew up in Plum. I first heard about it there. It's like Rich Rodriguez is coming back to WVU.
Some of the best times I've had as a Penn State fan would take a busload of Penn Staters down to West Virginia to go to the game. Last year, we took a bus from Newcastle to State College for the West Virginia game. It reminds me of when I was in school because it was just so close. It was a short trip, from Western PA. Go down there and see.
All right, give me your top 10 athletes from Newcastle, Shenango, then I'm going to go.
Top 10 athletes.
10. Come on.
Wow. 10 to 1. Wow.
He'll do it.
Right now, Chuck Tanner's, number 10.
Yeah,
we can't go. That'd be too hard for me. All right, well, I'm just going to name Chuck Tanner. All right.
Why was he such a great athlete?
because they didn't even have baseball at Shenango then. He made it to the major leagues when there were only 8 teams, right?
Where did he play baseball at?
He played American Legion baseball. That's what he did. We didn't have a baseball team at Shenango. Yeah.
Chuck Tanner never played high school baseball.
No, American Legion baseball. And then he got drafted.
He's in the top 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Go ahead.
We had another guy by the name of Daryl Dess that played in the NFL. He was a lineman. Everybody knew about him. He's in our Lawrence County Hall of Fame, but he was right there. All right. He was definitely in that group. And I'm going all 10 together. Right now we have 2 young guys. We talked about it. They both played on Monday Night Football. They both had an interception. Geno Stone and Malik Hooker.
And Malik Hooker's an athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Geno too, but Malik.
Malik was just amazing athlete. Boy, you put me on the spot here.
So you got 8 more.
Yeah.
Those 2 are too young.
Oh, those are too young.
Yeah, they got a lot more to do yet.
Wow. My buddy Jan Budai won a NAIA championship at Westminster.
I'll take that.
He's very good.
7 more.
Stuart McMunn was a name that was a safety at Penn State. Unfortunately, he passed away. All right. But he was a good name. Bruce Clark is another guy. Yeah. Remember Big Bruce?
Where's he from?
He's from Newcastle. He played at Newcastle. You didn't know that. I'll never forget. I had a barrel that we used to put kegs in, and we used to have parties, and you'd put the keg and the ice around it. It would take 2 of us to carry this thing. Bruce was he had some kind of restaurant program. He knocks at my door one day and he says, "Hey, Frank, can I use the barrel?" Sure. He said, "Bruce, you need something?" Nope. He picked that thing up, put it on his shoulder, and walked down the street.
You got 5 more.
I got 5 more. Okay, let's see. From boy, you put me on a spot here, Rob.
I know, but that's
yeah,
you always come through.
Rick Rosano.
Okay.
Rick Rosano played for the Cincinnati Bengals. He played NFL football. You got to put him in there. Let's see here.
No,
Lindy Laurel is the coach. Yeah, he's the coach of the year. My personal favorite is Frank Bongivingo, who was our coach. Yeah, for sure.
You got 2 more.
2 more. Wow. Yeah. All right, we are out of here. Let me think here. You're throwing me off.
Where'd Brucey grow up?
Who?
Tanner.
Bruce Tanner. Oh, yeah. I knew Bruce. He was in the Shannock. He grew up in the Shannock. He was in the major leagues. He's another guy. That's good. Boy.
I could throw my buddy Gene Matzuk in.
Guess what? Gene is. He's one of the best quarterbacks at Shenango. He was all everything. And look at the coach he's became. Yeah.
There'll never be a more successful coach, not just at Rochester, but maybe in any era in Beaver County than
Gene Matzuk. I agree. His brother, Dennis, is even more excited. No, he graduated with me. He's the least famous. Dennis graduated with me.
I knew Dan and
yeah. Well, I always say Dennis.
Donna and Gene. I didn't know Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis. Yeah, he's my age. Yeah, graduated from Shenango.
Listen, Augustine Pizza, wherever it's available, pick it up. Your family's going to love it for that next home or away tailgate.
It's a pleasure always.
You know what I love about you? Not only are you a caring, loving family man, good friend, always have been there for me, but being that you're kind of retired now, I think you work harder just making this place better.
Well, it's a lot of fun. We've been here my whole life. My grandkids are coming up through. We got a bunch of great staff at the township building. The school district does a great job. And then I think, and I want to say this, Lawrence County is we're all working together. We are so close to Pittsburgh. We're Lawrence County. Everybody's working together because it might be good for Shenango. It's going to be good for Lawrence County. It might be good for the city of Newcastle. It's going to be good for Lawrence County. So as a group, we're trying to put things together and really work together. So I give all the leadership credit.
What I remember about Chuck Tanner, Jim Leland, the same thing. When they would scout, no notes.
Yeah.
Just go to a payphone.
Right here.
Right there.
Chuck would say, is he a major leaguer? Is he a Division I football player? I don't know, Chuck. I make pizzas. What do I know whether they are?
I'm going to say this again. Bruce Tanner carried me for many years talking baseball. He's a gem. He's that. What I hope heaven is, God willing, heaven exists. One of the many things. If I could go there and somebody would say Chuck Tanner and Joe Lonnet or Lynette are waiting for you on cloud 9. They want to ask you about the pirate situation, and I'm running to that cloud.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're the best. God bless.
Thanks.
Back on here. Shake this hand.
All right, Rob. Thanks.
All right. back on the air tonight. We're going to be in the beer garden, Vin City distributing Mad Elf, Trog Brewing, 7 o'clock. Don't miss it. All tonight on KDK. Have a great day, everybody.